Good morning. Good morning. My name is Ruth Christie. I'm a member of the URU group here, and I'm serving as worship associate this morning. We're glad that you are here, congregants or visitors. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, however you identify, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome in our faith community. If you're visiting here in the sanctuary, welcome. If you're visiting online and want to learn more about us, click on the link in the chat box. While you're in the chat, we invite you to introduce yourself and tell us where you are watching. We're glad you are here.
Good morning. My name is Bernice Lynch, and my pronouns are they and them. I'm pretty much a COVID UU Ashevillean, as I believe I attended 2 live URU meetings, and then the lights went out. Through the magic of Zoom, I continued to build my relationship with this congregation and eventually become a member. The rest is history, but it really doesn't speak to what UU Asheville means to me. When I arrived, I had been on hiatus from my previous UU fellowship for several years. As Jewel and I planned our move to Asheville, I promised myself I would find a UU congregation, and when I read that UU Asheville was committed to being an anti-racist congregation and you were a welcoming congregation, I felt this could be my new home. After I participated in several Vesper services, attended Sunday services, met and interacted with the clergy and staff, together with the people I met on Zoom, I knew I was almost home. UU Asheville is where my spirit is challenged to grow for me to become my best self. UU Asheville provides me numerous opportunities to feed my social action soul and again grow in my knowledge's breadth and depth of the challenges we face every day. UU Asheville also makes room for me to be my happy, silly whole self, which reminds me, when I changed my gender pronoun from she to they, no one questioned what I was doing. You simply continued to recognize me as Bernice, because she or they, that's who I am. Only now I'm able to truly understand how I came to be, and so many questions from my past are answered. One last thing before I close. The Progress Pride flag that now hangs proudly in our lobby. This is something I longed for since I first came to UU Asheville. When Cecil told me that he and Wink had completed the work and the flag was up, I cried. But not for long. I'm so happy that we're displaying the flag, but this is something that should have happened a long time ago. We are a welcoming congregation, and as such, we have a responsibility to make visible our welcoming to all people, rejoicing in their sexual orientations, gender preferences, physical abilities, financial abilities, ethnicities, body shapes and sizes and skin colors, and all the wonderful attributes that make us who we are. My hope is that this flag will be a reminder and impetus we need to truly make UU Asheville my home.
Good morning. Guess who's here? Who? Who's here? Who's here? I can barely hear you. Yes, Emma's Revolution is here. We have on the right, Pat Humphreys, on the left, Sandy O. So now let us prepare for worship with today's centering music.
Good morning. I'm Sandy O. My pronouns are she, her, and getting ready. Okay.
And I'm Pat Humphreys, also she, her.
So we're so happy to be with you here this morning for a Pride service. Pride is all about love, and in this song, you'll get to sing those words, give it love, give it love. In fact, you can sing the whole song. I'll teach it to you now. Take the seed that you have and plant it here. Give it water and time for a day or a year. Take the seed that you have and plant it here. Give it love, give it love. Try that with us. Take the seed that you have. Take the seed that you have and plant it here. Give it water and time for a day or a year. Take the seed that you have and plant it here. Give it love, give it love, give it some love, give it 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 love. Oh yeah, we love when you sing with us. But the rest of the song, the tune says the same. Most of the words stay the same, and you can pick it up. Take the dream that you have and dream it here. Give it courage and time for a day or a year. Take the dream that you have and dream it here. Give it love, give it love, give it some love, give it 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 love. Take the song that you have and sing it here. Give it strength and time for a day or a year. Take the song that you have and sing it here. Give it love, 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 give it love.
It's so great to see Emma's Revolution after many, many years from Michigan. When I was a brand new minister, they came a few times. Welcome. I'm Reverend Kathy Harrington, and I serve this congregation as their interim minister. So this is Pride Sunday, and it's really great to see all of your faces here this morning. I'm going to do a chalice lighting and opening words combined. Living with Pride by Lori Gorgas Ablon. We light our chalice for those who lived their lives in closets of shame, for those who furtively visited the bars where nobody knew your name, for the Stonewall riot, and the fierce trans women who fought for the plague which still takes far too many, too young and too soon. So many gone, so many never lived to see out gay kids singing on television, out gay people serving in the military, marriage equality, families formed by intention. So we light our chalice this morning for all of these, for all the siblings of the rainbow, surviving, living life out in the open with pride. It's good to be together again. Let's rise in body or spirit and sing hymn number 1010 in your teal hymnal, We Give Thanks. It's time now for our wisdom story, and Colleen Finnegan is going to share the story with us this morning.
Good morning. Our story today is called Red, a crayon story by Michael Hall. And it's told by me, meaning the pencil. Interesting. So it starts. Pencil says, he is red. But he wasn't very good at it. Mama Olive Crayon says, oh dear. Pencil says his teacher thought he needed more practice. So friend Scarlet says, I'll draw a red strawberry, then you draw a red strawberry. You can do this, really. And Red's thinking, So, but he couldn't really, because Scarlet drew 5 beautiful red strawberries, and Red drew 5 strawberries, but they weren't red. And Scarlet says, oh my, let's try again. So Pencil continues, his mother thought he needed to mix with other colors. Olive Mama says, why don't you two go out and draw a nice round orange? Yellow says, a really big one. And Red said, a really orange one. And I was thinking, now why would it be orange? And then I remembered that if you mix yellow and red together, what color do you get? You guys read ahead. That's no fair. Yeah, it should have been red and yellow make orange. But they made a big greenish one instead. And yellow said, yuck. And Red said, oops. So, continuing with our story, Pencil says his grandparents thought he wasn't warm enough. Now this I wondered about. Back in the corner here, Silver and Gray are really little. That's Grandma and Grandpa. I guess they've been coloring for many years. Your class is making self-portraits, Grandma Silver says. For Parents' Night, wear this red scarf. And Grandpa Gray says, nice, it's so you. But it wasn't. And you can see that some of the other kids in the class did gold and teal and purple, and orange and green, but red didn't quite make it. Mama Olive says, "Oh, dear me," and silver and gray, Grandpa said the same thing. Pencil continues. Everyone seemed to have something to say, just like the other kids in the class. Amber said, "Sometimes I wonder if he's really red at all." And Hazelnut said, "Don't be silly. It says red on his label." Cocoa Bean says, "He came that way from the factory." Fuchsia says, "Frankly, I don't think he's very bright." Grape said, "I think he's just lazy." Amber Green said, "Right, he's got to press harder." Think about that one, okay? Steel Gray said, "Really, apply himself." Sunshine, here's a good one, says, "Give him time, he'll catch on." And Sea Green says, "Of course he will." So Green Frog is drawing a green frog. Green Crayon is drawing a green frog. Black Crayon is drawing a black sheep. He didn't catch on. Brown Crayon is drawing a brown cow. And Red Crayon is drawing a red ant? Nope. Right. The art supplies also wanted to help. The masking tape thought he was broken inside. "This will help hold you together," and you can see that masking tape put a little tape around his middle. The scissors thought the label was too tight, so Scissors says, "One snip should do it." They're all trying their own theory here. Pencil said, "I thought he wasn't sharp enough," so she got out the pencil sharpener and said, "Stay still now," to see if maybe a little sharpening would help. But even with all our help and all his hard work, we see red hearts, red cherries, red foxes, red toenails. He just couldn't get the hang of it. Stoplight, green and yellow and well, we'll have to see, huh? You might be right. One day he met a new friend named Barry. "Will you make a blue ocean for my boat?" And there's that big, beautiful boat that Barry made. And Red says, "I can't, I'm red." Barry said, "Will you try?" So he did. "Thank you so much, it's perfect." We see Barry's blue boat, and Red painted or drew the ocean. "You're welcome, it was easy." And he didn't stop there. Bluebells and bluebirds and blue jeans and blue whale and blueberries, and Red says, "I'm blue." He was blue, and everybody was talking, and here's these kids again, who are changing their story. Well, Mama says, "My son is brilliant." Amber, "Who could have known he was blue?" Hazelnut, "I've always said he was blue." Sure you did. "It was obvious," said Cocoa Bean. Barry said, "His blue ocean really lifted me." "All of his work makes me so happy," says Sea Green, continuing to be positive. Brown says, "His blue strawberries are my favorite." Amber Green says, "He's so intense." "I'm going to make a green lizard with him," says Yellow, "a really big one." And Grandpa says, "I hear he's working on a huge new project." And Scarlet said, "He's really reaching for the sky." And he really was. That's the end. And you need to figure out what was your favorite part and what taught you something from that story.
Thank you, Colleen. I think you've gotten a new job of doing stories for us. Wow. Wow. And so now, children and youth, we invite you to religious exploration. You'll be sung out of the sanctuary and then meet your group leaders in the foyer or Sandberg Hall and go to classes together. Look for the adults holding the sign with your grade to find your group. And parents, if you are new or visiting today, please escort your children to their classes so that you can meet their group leaders and find out where to pick up your child after worship. Now join me in singing our children out. Wow, there were a lot of kids in here, weren't there? So wonderful. Before we enter our time of silence and our centering, I'd like to share with you a responsive reading called A Litany for Survival. And Will's going to put the slides up, and then I will read the first part, and you will follow with the red in italics. It's called Our Common Life Enriched. We are grateful for the gift of our lives and the gift of other people in our lives. Each of us is created. We are called to love one another and to do nothing to others that we would find hateful to ourselves. Our common life is enriched when queer, transgender, bisexual, lesbian, and gay people can come out, sharing the gifts of their sexual orientation and gender identity. True justice flourishes when all people can live and flourish. We suffer when LGBTQ people are oppressed, excluded, or shamed by religious people who overlook the fundamental call to love one another. Love does not exclude. We are all worthy. May we build a world where all people are celebrated and loved. We celebrate sexual and gender diversity as a blessing that enriches us all. That responsive reading was from the Religious Institute, which is a multi-faith organization dedicated to advocating for sexual, gender, and reproductive health, education, and justice in faith communities and in society. And now, in the center of our service and in the center of our lives, let us pause to honor the silences of the world. Let's open our hearts to the place of quiet, to the silent prayer for the healing of pain, and the soft, gentle coming of love. Let us share a moment of silence. And now is time for acknowledging our joys and our sorrows with a candle lighting ritual. If you're in the sanctuary, please come forward and light a candle of memory or hope. And if you're online, please write in the chat box any joy or sorrow that you would like to share with the congregation. If you have shared a joy, know that this community rejoices with you. And if you have shared a sorrow, know that you are held in love and in deep care.
Really? You're going to make me follow that? Oh my gosh. That was so beautiful. Ah. Well, I get myself together. We just prior to our coming to North Carolina, we were down in Florida. Wherever we were, we did this.
Gay, 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 bisexual, queer, transgender.
Okay. That helped. All right, now I think I can do this.
This is a song we wrote many years ago about our wedding when we got married, and we're no longer a couple, but we also didn't think we were going to have to sing this song in the same way as we do now, 20 years later. There's a lot of work to do to keep our freedom and our rights.
I'll let you turn toward me. I'll let you turn toward me so I can hear you. Will you be with me? Will you see me through when the world is harsh? Can I count on you? We have come this far. Now it's up to you to be there. I stood up for you, knowing I might never have the chance to show my heart in ways that others learn to take for granted. And now I am asking you, will you be with me? Will you see me through when the world is harsh? Can I count on you? We have come this far. Now it's up to you to be there for this love. Love. You don't understand. You ask why I feel so strongly about holding up this love in front of everyone around me. Because I am asking you, will you be with me? Will you see me through when the world is harsh? Can I count on you? We have come this far. Now it's up to you to be there for this love. Every day we're beaten up or killed for simply showing that we've reached inside ourselves and found the deepest love we've ever known. Can we depend on you? Will you be with me? Will you see me through when the world is harsh? Can I count on you? We have come this far. Now it's up to you to be there. Will you be with me? Will you see me through when the world is harsh? Can I count on you? We've come this far. Now it's up to you to be there for this love. For this love.
My 23-year-old grandson identifies as transmasculine non-binary. When I asked whether I could refer to them as my grandson, they said, okay. I'd prefer grandchild, but grandson is okay. It took Scout about 4 years to transition. They took hormones, they underwent surgery, legally changed their name from Catherine to Scout. Scout is now comfortable with their body, has a good job with a group of theaters in the Berkshires, and lives in a trans-friendly community like Asheville is. They now lead a full, authentic life. But I can't stop here with a happy ending. As I was reflecting on Scout's journey, my thinking turned to the myriad of anti-gay trans bills that have been introduced into the North Carolina Assembly and Senate this past session. I believe that 2022 is a critical year for all trans supporters in North Carolina to vote, and especially study and vote for the many judicial races that are going to be on the ballot. I hope you will all pass this on to at least 5 of your friends.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth, for sharing that. So my homily this morning comes from mainly 2 books that I sought out because I wanted to celebrate Pride today. And so the books that I found, the first one is called The Book of Pride, LGBTQ Heroes Who Changed the World by Mason Funk. And the second one is called Queer Heroes, Meet 53 LGBTQ Heroes from Past and Present by Arabelle Siccardi and illustrated by Sarah Tannett Jones. So Mason Funk wrote about his book in the preface. Apart from its educational and inspirational value, we must build this archive as a permanent place of honor for the people who found the courage and the strength and the conviction to picture something better for their lives, for themselves. And they set out on the long, tumultuous, chaotic, unmapped journey to transform their vision into reality. At the time of the book's publishing, Funk had done 131 interviews. Not all of them are in this amazing book, but you can find them on his website, and the website is called theoutwardarchives.org. So he talks about how, in spite of their being tired, just exhausted, ostracized, arrested, shamed, and treated like refuse, they said no, no more, no más. These brave people understood that more than being merely accepted or treated nicely, they deserved to be celebrated for who they are. So this is what we will do this morning. Celebrate our LGBTQ friends, plus friends, loved ones, and neighbors with love and gratitude for making our lives richer, fuller, and more interesting. As Mason Funk says, when we can bring all of who we are to the altar of the world, it will be a better place and a whole lot more interesting place. So he refers to the people that he interviewed for his book as the elders. He was feeling sort of a sense of urgency because he didn't want them to disappear from the planet without having their stories shared. He feels so strongly that these stories will inspire because they are courageous, creative, perseverant, and loving. So his project, the book, actually was born out of his desire to do these projects, these interviews. So the Queer Heroes book lifted up people both famous and obscure. Wallace Funk mostly dealt with people that you may never have heard of. I'm going to share some of those with you. But first, we're going to talk about some of the famous LGBTQ plus people who impacted the world. So we have some slides. Y'all know Freddie Mercury and Alvin Ailey. What a remarkable gift he was. James Baldwin. If you don't live the only life you have, you won't live some other life. You won't live any life at all. And Audre Lorde. It is not our differences that divide us, it is our inability, oops, that disappeared, our inability to oh, there it is. I see it now. Thank you. Okay, one more time. It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. Audre Lorde's poetry is abundant, and as is James Baldwin. If you haven't read his books, I highly recommend them. So, and Alvin Ailey, oh my God, his gift of dance, freedom, expression, and beauty are immeasurable. He taught us to appreciate gifts of culture that are different from our own without using words or lectures or textbooks. Witnessing an Alvin Ailey performance is transformative. But what I found most hopeful as I was doing my research is that ordinary people like you and me can really make a difference in people's lives and in transforming the world. The world is not just transformed by superstars. It is changed by individuals who refuse to be silenced and demand to be true to who they are. At the time, they can't even imagine that their first single step towards liberation might be a portal for others to follow. Heroes don't set out to be heroes. They set out to be authentic and true to themselves and defiant to anyone who would tell them that they cannot be themselves. So I want to introduce you to some ordinary people whose lives extraordinarily transformed themselves and others. First, I want to introduce you to Emma Colquitt Sayers, founder of Emma's Elves. First, I'm going to get a drink. Emma was born in 1953 in Alabama, lived with her grandmother, who was a sharecropper. Her grandmother taught her the ethic of honest work. Emma moved to New Orleans with her lover and founded a series of successful businesses, including a mobile cardiology company called Cardiodynamics. When Emma was working in a hospital in Dallas-Fort Worth, she overheard some social services people talking about gathering gifts and food for families at Christmas. So Emma said, "What do you need?" And she listened. And then she went to the gay community in Dallas. She created Emma's Elves and ran it for 11 years by recruiting over 250 volunteers, giving gifts and food and love to thousands of families. She said, "There is no giving like the gay community giving." They are a very loving community. Emma moved into other forms of life-giving, life-changing entrepreneurial organizations that offered hope to people in need. And now I want to tell you about K.C. Potter. He was a trailblazer, and this little bit that I'm going to tell you barely touches on the life of K.C. Potter and the differences he has made for people in the world. He was born in 1943. He went to Berea College and earned a degree in law. He wasn't terribly confident about his being a successful lawyer, so he took a job at Vanderbilt University as the assistant dean of men, and later became the dean of residential and judicial affairs. At the time of his hiring, you can imagine that Vanderbilt was very conservative and hostile to any activity, even the hint of gay activity, which grew even worse during the AIDS crisis. But KC created safe spaces for the gay and lesbian students, and he also then testified in front of the board of the Vanderbilt University, and this changed their hearts. These students that Casey helped was able to change the hearts of the board of Vanderbilt. So he did not come out until after his retirement, after working at Vanny, he called it Vanny, for 36 years. And then he met his life partner, Richard, and they live happily on a farm together in Tennessee. The next person I want to share is Ada Bello. Ada was born in Havana, Cuba in 1933 in a heavily Catholic community. She sought freedom in 1957 to the United States. She helped found the Philadelphia chapter of the Daughters of Bilitis, DOB, which is from the Songs of Bilitis, an 1894 collection of French erotic poetry. She later founded HAL, Homophile Action League, a pioneer organization with the sole purpose of enlisting the support of politicians for her cause. Her justice work persisted for decades, and in 2015, she was honored by Philadelphia's Queer Latino Social Justice Organization with their David Acosta Revolutionary Leadership Award. So the next person is rather famous, but he was almost erased from our history, and that's Bayard Rustin. He planned and organized the 1963 March on Washington and Jobs for Freedom. He was a close advisor to Martin Luther King, and as a Quaker, he introduced MLK to the nonviolent activism of Gandhi. Bayard Rustin was almost erased from history because he was gay. If you do some of your own research about him, you will know that he is a true hero that deserves our attention. As you can see, he received a medal from Barack Obama. I think that's the next slide there. He was finally honored. Civil rights activist, yes. And Katie Lang is famous, but I still wanted to talk about her. She's a singer, songwriter, animal activist, AIDS awareness activist, and LGBTQ activist. She came out in an interview with The Advocate against the wishes of her record label. That took courage. They were worried about her career, that it would damage her career if she came out. She told them that she felt it was her responsibility to share her story because at the time, members of the LGBTQ community were being outed against their will. I remember that time. The next person is also rather famous, Jazz Jennings, courageously sharing her journey with others. She is the co-founder of Trans Kids Purple Rainbow Foundation and the author of 2 books, I Am and Jazz Being Jazz, My Life as a Transgender Teen. Jazz has been fighting for gender-neutral bathrooms, convinced the U.S. Soccer Foundation to create a trans-inclusive policy, and was included in Time Magazine's list of most influential teens. Her visibility and her voice are life-giving and life-saving gifts to help countless transgender youth and teens. Yeah. June Lagme is a Los Angeles city clerk who has helped create awareness and safe space for LGBTQ City Hall employees. She was born in Yokohama, Japan, and grew up in the Filipino community in LA. She got involved with a secret gay and lesbian Catholic group. I didn't know there were them, yay. I loved reading that. She worked to help found get Don Amador, the first openly gay man elected to city council in Los Angeles. And he appointed her to city clerk, and she was the first openly gay and the first Asian American to hold that position. And now the next person is Phyllis Randolph Fry. This is a great book. Houston judge and transgender activist, born Philip, had decided at the age of 28 to stop denying her true identity and begin to live her life fully. After law school, she was unable to find a job. She was able to give legal assistance to a young closeted military service member who had been given a DWI after leaving a gay bar. She was able to keep the story out of the news and keep his dignity and his career. She used the fees that she earned from that case to start her transgender law practice, and she became an activist and created the International Conference on Transgender Law and Employment Policy to draft policies and lobby Congress. She received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Transgender Foundation of America in 2013. She shared a story with the New York Times that I want to share with you. It was about a 40-year-old trans woman who came to her because she had had a felony. Living as a female since her teenage years, she had been trying to get her name legally changed. She had been charged with marijuana when she was 17 years old, and every time she tried to get legal help, she was denied because of the felony. Fry told her, "This is stupid. This isn't even a felony now." And so she took it to court. She told the judge the same thing to the judge, and the judge said, "Makes sense to me," and he signed the name change order. Walking out of the courtroom, Fry heard a thud, and she turned around. The woman had fainted. When she walked out, she came to, she was crying, "You gave me my life back." Fry said, "I get to do that. I do it every single month. I'm giving people their lives back. It's fun to give people their lives back." I think the last, nope, there's two more. A. Billy S. Jones Hennon is a bisexual activist and organizer. He was born in Antigua in 1943 and adopted by civil rights activists who had already adopted 9 other children. He served in the Marine Corps and then graduated from Virginia State University. He married, had 3 children, but the marriage ended in divorce. Afterwards, A. Billy came out as bisexual and helped launch the National Coalition of Black Gays in Columbia, Maryland, the first advocacy organization for African American gay men and lesbians' rights. He helped convene the National Third World Conference for People of Color at Howard University. It was an LGBT conference. A. Billy has worked tirelessly his whole life as an activist in many leadership roles, including serving as the Minority Affairs Director of the National AIDS Network. He's a founding member of and co-chair of the National Black Lesbian and Gays, and so much more. Today, he lives happily with his partner of 40 years, enjoying their combined 5 children, 9 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. A. Billy is open about being bisexual because he believes that there are so many young people and elders who might be emboldened to come out when they hear his story. Miss Major Griffin Gracie, known as Mama, was born in the 1940s in Chicago. When she explained to her parents that she was transgender, they tried a psychiatrist, prayer, an exorcism, others that were to no avail, so then they kicked her out. Nonetheless, she persisted. 2 colleges expelled her for wearing a dress, and so she moved to New York to perform in drag reviews and support herself with sex work and petty crime. It is essential to name the challenges, the indignities, and the injustices that this brilliant and powerful transgender woman of color faced. She is among the most courageous survivors who have paved the way for today's social justice movements. Here's what Forever Together had to say about Miss Major Griffin Gracie. She spent more than 40 years advocating for marginalized people, whether in prison or on the streets. Born and raised on the south side of Chicago, the trans activist came to know herself in the 50s and 60s when police raids of queer bars were rampant. And the thought of LGBTQ people speaking out against oppression was novel. It was dangerous as well. She, along other vanguard activists like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, emerged from the perilous 1969 Stonewall riots with a commitment to support her sisters and other trans family. So after hearing about all of these courageous heroes, and so many of them who are just ordinary people like us, I just want to pause for a moment of silence in gratitude for these people who lived lives of resistance, persistence, creativity, and leadership in the face of violence and oppression. and they helped pave the way for the rest of us to be able to live honest and lives with dignity, respect, and hope. A moment of silence. Thank you. Now, please rise in body or spirit and let us sing together hymn number 170 in the gray hymnal, "We Are a Gentle, Angry People." Thank you. That was beautiful. And now we have a brief search committee moment. This is Charlie Marks from our search committee who is going to give you a little update about what's going on behind the scenes.
I promise not to yell at you. The search committee has been busy, and half of them are here today, I see. And our job is to help you, help us find us a new minister. But it's not who we, the committee, want. It's really who we, the congregation, wants. And this time, the we, the congregation, is really you as individuals. It's not helpful to sit back and intuit what you think everyone else might want. You have to tell us what you want to make our congregation thrive. Tell us what you want. Please go back to this past week's weekly e-news and read Gina Ferris's fine weekly news blog titled Purpose and Possibility, where she implores you to do two things. things. Complete the congregational survey in early October, and then find a cottage meeting and attend it. Don't miss this chance to have your voice heard. This is your chance. It's not your last chance, but this is the most important 30 or 40 days we have in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Now, it's a time to just invite visitors to, if you're willing, to stand and tell us who you are and where you're from. We'd just like to welcome you. And we have microphone coming around. Does anybody wants to stand, a visitor? No visitors today. Okay, there we go.
Hi, I'm Sarah Rubin. I sing with Woman's Song. We rehearse here every Monday night. And really great to be here at the service and to hear Emma's Revolution, who we're great fans of. And we have a few other woman songers here as well.
And I'm Martha Burrows. I'm one of the directors of Woman's Song, and Sarah was my co-director this past season. So we're just thrilled to not only have wonderful music here, but to share this space with you, which we usually just have our little group on Monday nights. So it's nice to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Oh, sorry. My name is Eileen Proctor. I recently moved here from Beverly Hills, California, and I'm interested to know whether I could bring Marianne Williamson to your congregation.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we'd love you to bring Marianne Williamson here. Welcome. Thank you. Good to see you in person.
I'm Janina Shoemaker, and 30 years ago I was a member of this church, and I am so glad to be here today. I feel like I have come home to the Rock.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Elaine Brummett. I moved from Greenville, South Carolina a couple months ago. I was a member of that UU for 15, 16 years.
Welcome. I'm glad you're here.
I am Mike Smith. This is my wife, Delphine. And it's hard to think of us as a visitor anymore. We come every year for 2 or 3 months when we're in the U.S. And I want to say, you guys got it figured out. So many churches in the years, when people are old, like us, it's great to see the families and the kids. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. We're glad you're here. Anybody else? Yep.
My name is Wynn Ledgerton. I live in Black Mountain. I know some people at Givens Island Farms. I've been a friend of Unitarians ever since I was at Yale Divinity School many years ago. And believe me, that was the early days of GLBT work in seminaries and divinity schools. I'm a member at Grace Covenant Presbyterian, and it's just wonderful to be here because I followed the music that helped me through the winter of 2020 when I found Emma's Revolution.
Yes, thank you. We're glad you're here.
Thanks. Hi, I'm S.J. Cachado. I came here with my 2 daughters today. I grew up in the Unitarian Church in Central Coast, California, and I'm fairly new to the area. Again, I used to live in Asheville, and I came here a couple times and enjoyed the music, and this is my first time with my kids, so that's fun. And I just love being around music and singing with you all, so thanks for having me.
Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Jay Dismukes. I'm from Asheville. I came a few months back and really enjoyed it, and I'll keep coming regularly. It's really nice to be here with all of you, and hopefully I get to convince my family that this is a great place, and they'll come with me next time. So thank you.
Hopefully. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Welcome.
Hi there. My name is Elio. I'm here with my girlfriend, Summer. We moved here to Asheville from Florida. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Welcome.
Making me run.
Hi, I'm Judy Best, and I'm here with my wife, Mary. We actually are from Florida. Gay, 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 gay.
Welcome. Oh, we're glad you're here.
Hey everyone, my name's Ethan Miller. This is my third time coming here. Figured I'd introduce myself again because I haven't met all of you. Moved to Asheville a year ago, and this is my first time going to a UU church. Grew up Presbyterian, but I'm really excited about the culture and the space that you all have cultivated here. So, thank you.
Welcome. Welcome, Ethan.
Okay. Another one. Get my cardio.
Hi, I'm Anya. I recently moved here this year from Michigan. This is my first time at a UU church. I grew up Christian Reformed, but I feel really at home here, so thank you.
Welcome. Welcome, Michigan. Woohoo. Okay, thank you. Wow, what a wonderful, full day we've had together. Ruth is going to do the work of the congregation and the offertory, and then we will close.
All right. The work of our congregation, a lot of notices were on the announcements that ran at the beginning of the service. If you missed that, you can look at our Wednesday's weekly e-news. Everything is described there. And if you're not yet getting our e-news, you can sign up at the welcome table to be on that list. Our community plate recipient this month is Beloved Asheville. And I had the opportunity to go back to the community where they're building mini houses to house people that have been unhoused for a long time. They were having a special celebration to lift up 3 new houses. They already have one house, and if you go there, you can peek in the window and see what amazing things they've done with 500 square feet. It's a really, it's just a marvelous plan that they have of building 11 mini houses and creating a community for people that are able to earn at least 30% of the average income in this area, which is incredible, and they will be allowed to rent, and some of that money will be put aside for equity when they're going to leave or going to buy a place. So if you want to make a contribution to them, it's usually, our community plate is usually picked up the first Sunday of the month. But if you want to make a contribution to Beloved Asheville through our church, then you could write a check to the church and indicate community plate. Our offering will now be collected.
This is a song to get you through the rest of these challenging times. This is a new one that we wrote during the pandemic when we were doing our online song teaching. So I'm delighted to hear that there are some folks in the room who were with us during that time. When I wake up in the morning and I open my eyes, I remember to be grateful for the bright blue skies. And I wonder what I'm here for. Give me meaning, I pray, for the breath in this body I've been given today. And I listen to the wind as she whispers low, I am always here, you are not alone. Hold firmly to your power, you are blood and bone. Water and a gale will wash away stone. Unsteady on my feet
as I rise from my bed. I need a song to quiet all the noise in my head. Memories of heartache, unresolved from the past. I'm ready to release them from my spirit at last. And I listen to the wind as she whispers low, I am always here, you are not alone. Hold firmly to your power, you are blood and bone. Water and a gale will wash away stone.
May my heart be strengthened, my purpose be clear.
May I always remember the path that led here. Children of ancients, seeds of the soil, born of resistance, beauty and toil. And I listen to the wind as she whispers low, I am always here, you are not alone. Hold firmly to your power, you are blood and bone. Water and a gale will wash away stone. Hold firmly to your power, you are blood and bone. Water and a gale will wash away stone.
Water and a gale will wash away stone.
Water and a gale will wash away stone.
For your gifts of time, presence, talent, and treasure, we are grateful. Closing words this morning are by John Lou Johnston. We shall overcome. When we can truly celebrate the diversity of contributions and talents offered by all people, we shall overcome hatred, prejudice, and oppression. When we can truly extend our hands to one another in loving acceptance, we shall overcome the past that haunts us. Living in peace and freedom, we shall overcome the wrongs that have happened and the debts left unpaid. Let us join together in the commitment to overcome. Let us say amen together. Amen. And now it's time to sing our closing song. Longtime son, please rise in body or spirit. If you have to leave before the postlude, please leave quietly so everyone can enjoy. I think Emma's Revolution is gonna have us sing along too.
Loved you to sing with us. I wrote this song a long time ago. So I'm going to start it out the way I wrote it originally, and then we're going to kick it up just a little bit.
And we're going to sing it in English and in Spanish. I'll always give you the line in Spanish, and you're always going to say the word always in Spanish, which is siempre. Do you know that one? Siempre.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Try that with us. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Siempre adelante. Oh, sigamos. Sigamos adelante.
Siempre adelante.
Siempre adelante, siempre adelante, siempre adelante, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás.
Gonna keep on loving boldly.
Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Amaremos con pasión.
Siempre con pasión. Siempre con pasión. Siempre con pasión. Siempre con pasión, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás.
Gonna reach across our borders.
Reach across our borders. Reach across our borders. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Vivamos sin fronteras.
Siempre sin fronteras. Siempre sin fronteras. Siempre sin fronteras. Siempre sin fronteras. Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás. Otra vez sin volver. Sin volver atrás.
Gonna reunite the family.
All of them.
Reunite the family.
Reunite the families. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Familias reunidas.
Siempre reunidas. Siempre reunidas. Siempre reunidas. Siempre reunidas. You know the next part? Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás.
Gonna keep on moving forward.
Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. 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 Thanks so much.
Thank you all. I think there are some CDs and things in the Sandberg Hall if you're interested. Thank you.
And we're going to do a concert tonight in Brevard. Not too far away. So I think it's at 7 o'clock. You can check emmasrevolution.com, but come join us.
And it'll be live streamed, so you can
And it
join
will be
us from
live streamed as
anywhere.
well.
Thank you.